Welcome back to Frequency Flow, the sacred space where energy becomes embodiment, where truth rises through the heart, and where your soul doesn't just listen, it remembers. Today's message is not just a message, it's a sacred initiation, because what you're stepping into, what your spirit is calling you toward, what your higher self is unfolding for you now, is too big for your past to fit inside. Let me say this with love and power. Let go of the past, it can't follow you where you're going. Your past was the portal, not the destination. We all have a past, a path we've walked, chapters that held heartbreak, lessons that were loud, seasons that scarred and shaped us. But the past is a tool, not a home. It's not the chain around your ankle, unless you keep it locked. It's not the definition of who you are, unless you agree to the story. And it's not the ruler of your next level, unless you give it the throne. You can favor what made you without bringing it into what will become you. Because listen, the life you're stepping into is not compatible with old limitations, old guilt, old shame, old stories that shrink your power. The past may explain some things, but it no longer gets to decide everything. Why we struggle to let go. We cling to the past not because it's safe, but because it's familiar. The pain becomes part of our personality. The trauma becomes the lens we use to see love, opportunity, purpose. And we say, what if it happens again? What if I mess up again? What if I lose again? What if I was wrong to leave? What if I deserved that? But hear this in your spirit. You were never meant to stay in survival mode. You were never meant to build a home in pain. You are a soul in motion, not a statue in a museum of memory. It's okay to remember. It's sacred to reflect. But it is spiritually violent to keep reliving something you've already outgrown. You can't fly while dragging everything you've buried. Here's the spiritual truth. You cannot carry bitterness and become better. You cannot cling to betrayal and attract divine love. You cannot keep reciting the old chapter and still be available for a new plot twist. At some point you must say, I deserve to move on. I forgive them, for me. I release what happened, and I choose what happens next. You are not dishonoring your past by letting it go. You are honoring your future by walking toward it unchained. Your next level has no room for old weights. The version of you that's waiting in the next frequency? She's not obsessed with what went wrong. She's not reliving mistakes. She's not carrying betrayal into her blessings. She's walking light. She's walking free. She's walking in alignment. And she's asking you, will you let go of who you had to be, so you can step into who you came to be? Because every time you revisit the past with shame, you dim the light of what's been divinely planned for your becoming. What letting go really means, spiritually plus energetically. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means releasing the charge, the emotional hook, the toxic tether, the looping narrative. Here's what letting go looks like. Letting go of resentment, so you can reclaim your peace. Letting go of self-blame, so you can open your heart again. Letting go of control so you can move with flow, not force. Letting go of attachment, so you can receive what's actually aligned. Letting go of what could have been, so you can finally step into what will be. And here's what happens when you do. You create energetic space for miracles. You stop magnetizing repeat patterns. You free your nervous system from old trauma loops. You stop rehearsing pain and start creating purpose. Your spirit is not tired, it's overpacked. Sometimes when we say, I'm stuck, what we really mean is, I haven't cleared the emotional clutter. You're not broken. You're just carrying too many expired identities. Too many closed chapters still bookmarked in your soul. Letting go doesn't require doing more. It requires trusting more. Trusting that what's behind you has served its purpose. Trusting that what's ahead is already yours. Trusting that your healing is not in the remembering, it's in the releasing. Let this be your permission slip, release to rise. If no one told you today, you're allowed to stop apologizing for evolving. You're allowed to be proud of how far you've come. You're allowed to say, I've healed this, I'm done carrying it. You're allowed to rise even if people from your past don't recognize you. You're allowed to let go, even without closure. Let this moment be your energetic line in the sand. From this day forward, I no longer identify with pain. I remember, I honor, I favor, but I do not bring it with me. Say these soul-releasing affirmations aloud. I no longer rehearse pain, I magnetize peace. I bless my past and release it with love. My future deserves my full energy. I am safe to trust what's ahead. I walk light, I walk free, I walk in purpose. The past can't follow me, my frequency has evolved. This is Frequency Flow. And here we don't just talk about healing, we embody it. We don't chase peace, we return to it. We don't hold on to what hurts, we release to rise. So I invite you, right now, close your eyes, breathe deep, put one hand on your heart, and say with all the love in your being, I no longer need to carry this. I trust what's coming more than I fear what's gone. I'm ready, and I'm already free, because you are. And the universe? It's not asking you to be perfect. It's only asking you to let go, so it can finally bring you what you've been praying for.